Two flagship touring philosophies collide. Honda's silky flat six luxury barge versus Indian's blacked-out V-twin bagger. One glides, the other growls. Here's how the Goldwing and the Challenger Dark Horse actually stack up across price, performance, comfort, and character. The base Goldwing starts at $25,500 plus $775 destination, making it the most accessible six-cylinder touring bike on the market and one of the few remaining flagship class tourers priced under $30,000. The Challenger Dark Horse 108 lists at $29,749, over $4,000 more, positioning it as a premium bagger rather than an entry point into touring. Honda's pitch is flagship comfort without flagship pricing, while Indian leans on blacked-out styling and V-twin heritage to justify the premium. The gap also reflects what each brand assumes buyers will add later. Honda's tour trims climb toward $34,000 once a top box and airbag are added, while the Dark Horse already includes much of what a rider would otherwise pay extra for. If budget drives the decision, the Goldwing wins outright. If image and bagger attitude matter more, the Dark Horse's price feels justified by its presence. The Goldwing's 1,833cc horizontally opposed six-cylinder is the star of the segment, producing roughly 124.7 horsepower and 125.4 pounds-feet of torque, with a legendary reputation for smoothness. Vibration is nearly absent even at highway revs, and the engine note is more turbine hum than mechanical clatter. The Challenger counters with a 1,768cc, 108 cubic inch, PowerPlus V-twin fed by closed-loop fuel injection through 52mm dual throttle bodies, making 122 horsepower and a stronger 128 pounds-feet of torque arriving early at just 3,800 RPM. That torque curve is the Indian's calling card. Roll-on acceleration from a stoplight or a slow-moving pack feels immediate, with none of the weight for revs that a smaller displacement engine might demand. In practice, the Indian feels punchier off the line and more visceral, with classic V-twin pulse and exhaust note carrying through the bars and pegs, while the Honda spins up with turbine-like refinement and stays composed at sustained triple-digit cruising speeds without extra vibration creeping into the grips or floorboards. Torque-focused riders who want instant roll-on grunt for two-up highway passing will prefer the Indian. Riders chasing mechanical polish and long-haul smoothness will prefer the Honda. Base Goldwing trims come standard with a 6-speed manual and shaft final drive. A 7-speed DCT automatic is optional for $1,000 more, plus a genuinely useful reverse gear for parking lot maneuvers. The Challenger Dark Horse uses a 6-speed manual paired with a wet multi-plate clutch and standard final drive. No automatic option exists in the Indian lineup. Neither bike offers a true low-speed reverse assist system like some rivals, though the Goldwing's mechanical reverse gear gives it a practical edge when backing a loaded bike uphill or out of a tight campsite space. Honda's base Goldwing tips the scales at 806 pounds curb weight, while the Challenger Dark Horse 108 comes in heavier at roughly 855 pounds in running order, 819 pounds dry. That nearly 50-pound gap is noticeable at parking lot speeds, where the Goldwing's lower center of gravity, mass centralization, and double wishbone front suspension make it feel more manageable despite carrying more visible bulk in its fairing and bodywork. The Challenger's 43mm inverted telescopic fork, 25-degree rake, and shorter 65.7-inch wheelbase versus the Goldwing's 66.9 inches give it sportier, more direct steering once moving. And its narrower overall width helps it feel less imposing in traffic and lane-splitting situations. The Goldwing's front suspension design also lets the engine and rider sit closer to the front wheel, which sharpens its handling far beyond what its weight figure alone would suggest. Around town at walking pace, advantage Honda for ease and predictability. On flowing back roads and sweeping curves, advantage Indian for feedback, lean confidence, and eagerness to change direction. The Goldwing seat height sits at 29.3 inches, while the Challenger Dark Horse is notably lower at 26.5 inches, nearly 3 inches of difference that matters a great deal to shorter riders. The Indian's lower stance, pulled-back handlebar, and forward-mounted foot pegs create a classic bagger riding triangle that's easy to flat-foot at stops. The Honda's more upright, centered posture suits taller riders and long-haul comfort, but demands more confidence for shorter riders at a standstill. For riders under 5'7", the Challenger's accessibility is a real advantage. For taller riders logging serious mileage, the Goldwing's ergonomics reward the extra reach. The Goldwing pairs a 7-inch touchscreen with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, along with idle stop technology and adaptive torque control. The Challenger counters with Indian's Ride Command system on its own 7-inch fairing-mounted display, wired Apple CarPlay, Bluetooth connectivity, selectable ride modes, and a 6-axis Bosch IMU driving cornering ABS, traction control, and drag torque control. The Indian's electronics package edges ahead on active safety sophistication, lean-sensitive rider aids, while the Honda's interface feels more car-like and phone-integrated for everyday usability. Even in base trim, the Goldwing includes standard hard saddlebags with roughly 60 liters of combined capacity, plus underseat, glove box, and dash storage, genuinely useful for weekend trips without upgrading to the Tour model. The Challenger Dark Horse also ships with remote-locking hard saddlebags, advertised at 18-plus gallons of combined storage, along with a power-adjustable windscreen and adjustable fairing vents for wind management on the fly. Both bikes include keyless or push-button convenience features and a USB charging port as standard, so neither requires accessory shopping just to keep a phone charged on a long ride. Neither base model includes a top trunk. That's reserved for Goldwing Tour trims and Indian's Pursuit Roadmaster siblings, so this comparison is closer than the full touring lineup suggests. Both are genuinely 2-up capable without accessories, though the Goldwing's fixed hard cases feel slightly more integrated into the overall bodywork than the Challenger's side-mounted units.
The Goldwing carries a 5.5-gallon tank, while the Challenger holds slightly more at 6.0 gallons. Honda's Flat 6 is historically the more fuel-efficient of the two engine architectures at highway speeds, thanks to its smaller displacement and refined fuel injection, often stretching further per tank despite the smaller capacity. The Indian's larger displacement V-twin trades some efficiency for low-end torque, meaning real-world range between the two bikes tends to land in a similar ballpark despite the tank size difference. Worth confirming with a dealer test ride. The Challenger's braking setup, dual 320mm front discs with Brembo calipers and a 298mm rear disc, is a genuine performance highlight, giving it sharper initial bite than most cruiser-style tours. The Goldwing counters with dual 320mm front discs and a single 316mm rear disc paired with its double wishbone front end, prioritizing plush, controlled damping over outright stopping power. Overall ride character sums up the whole comparison. The Goldwing irons out pavement imperfections like a luxury sedan, while the Challenger stays more connected to the road, rewarding a rider who wants to feel the miles rather than float above them.
Choosing between these two comes down to philosophy, not just specs. The Goldwing base is the smarter buy for pure long-distance comfort, lower cost of entry, and mechanical sophistication. It's the better first flagship tourer, especially for taller riders. The Challenger Dark Horse earns its higher price with stronger low-end torque, sharper handling, superior lean angle electronics, and a lower seat that's far friendlier to shorter riders. Riders chasing serenity and value should choose the Goldwing. Riders chasing torque, attitude, and bagger styling should choose the Challenger Dark Horse.